Hey, content creators, I'm Demetria, your friendly content strategist. And I am wondering, have you ever struggled to stay consistent with your podcast? Are you a podcaster and you're trying to figure out how often you're going to be able to keep this up? I've got you covered. Today, I'm sharing my top tips for staying consistent with your podcast creation without overwhelm. Today's video is going to be really short. I'm going to cut straight to the point because I only have 3 tips for you, and they are simple tips and easy to implement in your life. So if you are a podcaster and you just want to stay consistent and you need a little motivational boost, that's what this video is for you today. So my first tip for you is batch record your episodes. Without fail, if you batch record, you are going to accomplish so much more than if you wait till the last minute and try to organize, that week's content at the last minute and try to do the research and then record and then edit and then publish. It's just a lot to do all at the last minute. Please don't wait till the last minute if possible. Now, I used to wing it like that when I didn't have a strategy in place, and it works. It can work. But when you start getting really serious about your content creation and you start to realize how much content you actually want to produce, and if you're a solopreneur doing all of this on your own, you're going to start to get more strategic about how you use your time, and you're going to see that it's a lot more effective to batch your recordings, batch your editing days, just batching. Batching in general is my rule of thumb. So what you want to do is dedicate one day to record multiple episodes. So now I turn my video content into my podcasts. Usually. Sometimes they're a little separate, but I usually try to recycle my content. So this particular video is going to either become a podcast or become the foundation from which I record something completely different, but is the same content that I'm recording right now, if that makes sense. So it's the same content, the same outline, same information. So since I recycle my content, I know that this particular topic is going on 2 different channels. It's going on this video channel, but it's also going on my podcast, my Her Business Elevated podcast. And it's quite possible it will go on my second podcast, which is Soul Podcasting. So with that said, I have to be very strategic about how I create and produce this content. So I'm going to record all of my episodes for the week and possibly for the month. So this month, I'm choosing to do 2 videos on YouTube per week. So I've already sat down and done 5 videos in one fell swoop within 1 hour. So this is how I like to operate. So I'm ahead of where I need to be, and being ahead of the game is so relieving. So I can go and do my other work. I have other jobs. I have other things I do in life. So that way, all I've done was record everything I needed to. I've got all my outfits picked out. I've got all my looks for my different videos so that I don't have to wake up tomorrow, put on another, get dressed, put on another outfit, record another video, wait until another day, record another video. I'm doing it all in 1 hour. And that's what works for me. So then once I batch record all of those today, and this is going to last me the entire month, then tomorrow I will go in and start editing all of this. Now, editing takes a lot more time than recording, believe you me. So it takes time to edit, which is why it's a good idea to record everything so that you can just take your time and start editing as possible, or farm out your editing if you're not a solopreneur. Maybe you are a solopreneur, but you have help. So get the help you need and get those videos edited, but do batch record. And that leads me to my second tip, which is to plan your content in advance. You'll need a content calendar, but you're going to need topic curation. So use ChatGPT, use AI tools to help you with curating ideas and topics for what you want to do. Use a content calendar to help you flesh out what you want to do for the entire year, for quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I get really detailed into how I strategize. So I will have to do a video soon to show you guys exactly how I'm coming up with ideas and how I'm laying this out for the year. But this is what I think is going to work for me this year. And if I need to tweak it, we'll tweak it for the following year and see what happens. But this is what's working so far, and it's keeping me on schedule. And then I know what's happening in the world of digital marketing and content creation, which is my world. It's what I produce content about. And I could look on like a general calendar to see, okay, yeah, today is, podcasting day, or today is the day that we bring a pet to work day, or something like that, right? And it helps me keep track of the things that are happening in the world on my content calendar, so that I can have something extra and fun to talk about on that day, instead of just only producing content about what I do content about. I can integrate world events into my content and make it more meaningful and impactful. So do have a content calendar, know what's going out when, and that's why it's important to plan your content in advance, so you know what's happening in your business, what products you want to be selling when, and what services you can actually provide. I'm also providing podcast auditing service all the way around, so that's something on the table. And I do happen to do occasional website design for those who are wanting to set up a blog. So I've got a lot of things going, and I have to know how to implement my services and my products into my content creation strategy. And that's why having a content calendar is so necessary. My last tip for you in terms of staying consistent without overwhelm is, when you're editing, you need to simplify your process for editing so that you are not getting overwhelmed with it. And that's easier said than done. I still sometimes get overwhelmed with editing, but the thing is you have to find tips that make it easy for you. So maybe it's your software that you're using that you're trying to edit with that's just not making editing an easy or enjoyable process. And so I currently use Adobe Premiere for my editing. Currently I'm using Premiere because I'm used to it. It's already something I subscribe to. I have the Adobe Creative Suite, and so I have access to that. When you are figuring out the best platform to edit your podcasts or your videos, you just have to figure out what you feel comfortable using. And then you have to create a process that makes the editing easier for you and more enjoyable. So if you're getting bogged down with like taking out the little sounds of your voice that you don't want heard in the audio, for example, the ums, the ahs, the stutters, you're trying to edit those all out, and it's becoming overwhelming to go in and listen to your audios and edit these things, you may need to consider hiring somebody to do that for you. Yes, find the way that works best for you. So if you don't like editing, then you need to figure out who's going to do this work for you. Otherwise, get used to it and learn the software, learn the tools, and get used to the editing process, and find ways to make this go by quicker for you. And you're going to get faster and faster at editing the more you edit a show. So if you're editing 2 or 3 shows a week or 1 show a week, by the end of 4 to 5 months, you would have figured out your editing process and how long it takes you to do it. So I know from my 20-minute podcast episodes that are audio only, it takes me about maybe 40 to 50 minutes to edit those. Because it takes about double the time of the actual listening to the audio to edit it. I know that for an interview where I'm editing both ends of my voice and their voice and trying to level out the audio so that they're kind of even in their volume, it can take a little bit longer. And so maybe anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half to edit something like that. And then if it's a video, it's even about that amount as well, because I'm looking at, I edit my videos, which then I bounce down to the audio and I extract the audio from the video. There's a lot of things going on with my interviews, which is why I said in another video that I did about podcasting, why I prefer to run a solo podcast. So I'll leave a link to that solo podcasting video here, but I do prefer solo just for so many reasons. It just makes it so much more efficient for me. But on occasion, I do like to have guests and interview people who bring a lot of value to the shows. So those are the ways that I stay consistent without overwhelm. I just try to use those 3 tips to shortcut my way into what I'm trying to do here on YouTube and with my podcast and with my blogs, trying to make life really streamlined for me for my business life because I do have another world that I live in, right? I have my family life. I have my home life. I have my own personal things that I love. I'm starting my reading journey this year, so I'm hoping to finish about 50 books by the end of the year. I have my own personal goals, and then I also work. I have jobs that I work outside of my business because you got to pay the bills, you got to keep things afloat, right? And sometimes when you're grinding and you're waiting for your business to take off the way it needs to, you got to find work. So I am working with children. I'm a tutor, I teach, and I love that part of my life as well. And so these are tips that help me as a busy content creator to stay focused on doing this part of my work efficiently and quickly so that I can go and have my other life as well. Consistency is the secret sauce to podcasting, and I hope this has been really helpful to you. I want you to remember to start small, stay steady, and create fearlessly. Thank you so much for tuning in. I would love for you to hit the bell, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and until next time, I can't wait to share more content creation strategies with you.